Hello everybody, Gisele Grenier here. In today's video lesson, we're going to be mixing up yellow even though it's a primary color. So I created, to save some time, I created a swatch of some paints that I have, and I'm introducing a couple of extra colors to show you some mixes. I'm using Decor Traditions acrylic paint, and what I have here, and I'm using my little short form names here to match what's here. And this is something that you should be doing as well to save time not having to write everything. Hansa Yellow Medium, Hansa Yellow, Hansa Yellow Light, Yellow Oxide, Transparent Yellow Iron Oxide, Raw Sienna. Let's skip over this. Oh, well, include a Burnt Sienna, Yellow Deep, Derelid Yellow, Ivory, Indian Yellow, and Carbon Black. These two are not yellow, but I'm bringing them out for a reason. And, well, obviously, black's not yellow either. So what I've got here, let me grab my pencil. Where are we? Throughout my many years of teaching, when I call out, I list colors that do a project and say, well, I don't have this, what can I use? I don't have this, what can I use? Raw sienna, although it's a neutral brown, is a great substitute for yellow oxide. It's a little bit more on the orange side. Okay, it's also more transparent, but it's a good alternative to yellow oxide. What if you add white? Would it match? Well, let's try. Because yellow oxide is a core color. Well, first of all, let's take some white with a little bit of yellow oxide and a bit more than that, and let's create a value. So this is yellow oxide. A lot of times you can't just add white and expect it to match. First of all, they're two different pigments, but let's see how close we can get. So now if we take, where are we? We take white, add a bit of raw sienna. And let's go here. It's a lot more, well, it's a lot more neutral. It's like a sandy color. So what could we do to brighten that up a little bit? We could add a little bit of orange. Well, I don't have orange on here. What if we add a little bit of Hansa Yellow Medium? Ooh, too much. Too much, too much, too much. Too much, my goodness. I still think it's too much. But let's see what we've got. See, it's more brown. There we go. It's not too bad. So we're going to write this one down as titanium white, raw sienna, and Hansa Yellow Medium. So it will work as a substitute, but you really, they're not expensive pigments. You really, if you had to choose between one or the other, choose yellow oxide. Okay. So, transparent yellow iron oxide, if you're into steampunk art, that's something that you should have. But what if you can't find it? Well, if it's the same pigment as yellow oxide, could we not just make it transparent? Let's try. I've got some Decor medium, matte medium. I'm going to take a little bit out on the palette. Where's my yellow oxide? Right here. And we'll take a little bit of yellow oxide. Not really. You lose the brightness. But it does make it nice and transparent. You lose a bit of the brightness. It's the way it's processed. It's not only about making it transparent, it's the way it's processed. There you go. So we're trying to compare it to that. And not really. But it's a good alternative. So yellow oxide plus matte medium. Okay, well, we have that. So what else have we got? Well, we have a yellow deep, which is a really nice, rich color. Well, what if we tried to make this with colors we already have? Well, it's made with PY139, which is Indian Yellow, and PBR7, which is PBR7BS. PBR7 BS. So burnt sienna. Well, we'll make it up, but in my limited palette, I don't have this. So what can we do? As an alternative, if you really like this, really what you need to do is just take Handsy Yellow Medium with a bit of orange, the choice of your orange, and a little bit of burnt sienna. So we could be here all day. I just want to give you the basis of how to get started doing this. And then you can go on and make your own mixes. So I'm going to take Indian Yellow. I hope you can see this. Indian Yellow and a little bit of burnt sienna. Now, burnt sienna is a staple. It's a color that I will never ever go without on my palette. It's a staple color. So where are we going to put this? Oh, let's put it right here. Let's put it right here. It's a staple color. It's a color that I won't even start a painting unless I have an abundance of it. Let's see. Now, this is where we start asking our questions. So let's pretend we're trying to color match this. What's the color? First color we see? We see yellow. Where does it lean on the color wheel? Towards orange or towards green? Leans towards orange. So I mix up my color, put it down. I do a comparison. Is it brighter or duller than what I have here? I think it's a little bit duller. Is it darker or lighter? I think it's just a little bit lighter. So if it's not as bright and if it's not as dark, then what do we do? Well, we just add a little bit more burnt sienna. Let's see what we get with that. That'll make it dark automatically. There we go. Because it has this looks like it has a little bit more red in it. Here we are. So I'm matching this. So what I did is I took Indian Yellow, so PY 139 Indian Yellow plus burnt sienna. So that's this one, and then this one is plus more burnt sienna. So plus BS, so it's more of burnt sienna. What if you really like that color and you don't have Indian Yellow? Well, let's try. We're not going to get an exact match, and I'm going to have to pull out some paint. I'm just going to take a smidgen of orange. I don't need a lot. That's too much. I don't know if you can see what I just did there. This is Paranone Orange. And let's see if I can turn this. There we go. So if we want the color match, so we're going to start asking ourselves the questions again. So if we want to color match this, what do we see? We see yellow. Okay. Does it lean towards orange or does it lean towards green? It leans towards orange. So let's make up something. So we want to take something, and the closest yellow that I have, well, excluding, don't even look at these. I'm looking at my limited palette. Well, if this leans more towards orange, I know that I'm not going to use this. I could use this if I didn't have this, but I'm going to go Handsy Yellow Medium. Handsy Yellow Medium. Take a look at that. Okay. Well, comparing this to this, is it lighter or darker? Well, this is definitely darker. Is it brighter or duller? And, well, on the brightness scale, it's kind of hard to tell because they're so different. I'm going to say this is too bright. And then basically, again, where does it lean on the color wheel? This is nowhere near as red as this. Well, I don't want to add red, so what if we just add a bit of orange to it? We want to try to get something close to this, remember? And this may be too much, so I'm going to bring in a little bit of that. Okay, so we're trying to match. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. Remember, this is a single pigment. We're never going to make an exact match to that. So then let's add our burnt sienna to it and see what happens. Oh, let's put that where? Let's put that here. just not quite yellow enough. Let's take a little bit of, this is where you start asking those questions again, remember? Compare the color. Is it lighter or darker? Is it brighter or duller? And which side of the color wheel does it lean? See, I added yellow there. Oh, that's way too yellow. So what do I have to do? I have to add more burnt sienna. And this is the whole thing about, a bit more orange. This is the whole thing about when you start experimenting. There we go. There we go. Now, when you're doing your mixes, and this is something I'm going to drill into your head, if you are trying to color mix to a single pigment, you will never, ever, ever get a perfect match because this is a single pigment. You're taking 2 or more colors to try to match that. It will never happen. You'll get something close. So this is actually pretty close. Okay, so there you go. Now the other thing, okay, so we talked about alternatives to yellow oxide using raw sienna. Burnt sienna, we introduced that to make yellow deep. We made yellow deep with Indian yellow, burnt sienna. We also made a similar yellow deep with Hansa yellow medium and burnt sienna. Now I want to show you something really neat. Did you know that you could, well, you could sort of get a green with black? I want to show you something which is kind of neat. We're going to do a little bit of a value study with yellow, black, and white. So first of all, let's take white with black. Oh, not that much, my God. My God, too much. Okay, so we're just going to get that in there. Let's just put, to show you, because you can get different types of black. Some lean more towards, some lean more towards blue. Some are more red. So this one here leans a bit more towards blue. Okay. What I want to do is I've got this mix now. Let me make a little bit more. You don't need a lot. So what I want to do is we'll just take it with what? Let's take Hansa yellow light. I'm going to take a good chunk of Hansa yellow light. I'm going to put it right about here. So we're going to make green with this. Now really this should be for a green lesson, but I just want to show you how you can shift this a little bit by using black. Let me take a little bit more yellow and put it right under here. Okay, and we'll take a little bit more of the gray, go right in here. So you know how we usually do our value scales by adding white, adding white, adding white? Well, now we're basically reversing it. We're adding gray. Now, I'm not sure about you. Could you find anything that you could paint this with these colors? Let me add a bit more black, a little bit more white. It's interesting though, like as you start really getting to the darks, look at this type of color. This is one of these mixes. Oh, a little bit more. This is one of these mixes that kind of, I really wouldn't think about it. But this one here I really like. So just by taking Hansa yellow light with a little bit of gray. But then what about if you took Hansa yellow light just with black? And you would do this exercise, you know, using all the yellows that you have. So if we took yellow, a bit of black, And black kills it, so you gotta be careful. Just go over here. So what's changed now? What's changed? We made the other mixture with gray, which meant there was white, which means it's more opaque. Now we're using yellow pure. Oh my goodness. Now we're using yellow pure. So it's more transparent. But you notice how bright it is? Not quite. I think I have a bit of water in my brush. But this is a nice neutral green. I'm looking at this one. You know what this looks like? This looks like a muddy sap green, which is a color we use in portraits and landscapes. So who'd have thunk that you can make a green using yellow and black? So there you go. So if you have, I didn't ask a pop quiz, did I? What's a pop quiz question? Let's see what. Let me think. I don't know. Other than that, if you missed the last video, where did Indian yellow originally come from? that would be one. All right, so your homework assignment is going to be basically to take all your yellows again, your top 10, and lay them out here. You can not need to make a color swatch because we did that in another lesson. And then you can, and then also if you have, bring out some burnt sienna, some type of reddish neutral color. And if you have yellow ochre and raw sienna, bring those out so you can do a comparison, do a bit of value scale. What you see on camera is going to be different from what you see in real life. But if you have Indian yellow, or go to DecoArt's website, look up Indian yellow and look at the swatch, see if you can make a color match to Indian yellow. And then I really want you to do this experiment right here, taking the yellows that you have, not just Handsy Yellow Light, but the yellows that you have, and create a value scale with yellow and gray, and another value scale with that same yellow and just black to do a comparison. So if you have the 3 yellows here, you're going to have 6 values. Handsy Yellow medium with gray, and then Handsy Yellow medium just with black. Handsy Yellow with gray, Handsy Yellow with black. Handsy Yellow Light with gray, and Handsy Yellow with black. Okay, and if you want to go on with all the ones, go ahead. Green is a color that, if you like painting landscapes and flowers and that, green is a color that you already know. If you go to an art store, there are so many out there. Do you need them? Probably not. We're going to go over this lesson again when it comes to a future lesson in making up green. Because what I have phthalo green blue and phthalo green yellow, but these are so powerful that sometimes it's just easier to step back, and instead of taking those colors with yellow and with a neutral and with this and with that, sometimes it's just easier just to take a yellow with a bit of black. Black is not a color we use often, but as it's been proven, it does come in handy. Alrighty, so if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link below to go over to the Facebook page or the community. Everything is happening over there. You can post your pictures, your color swatches over there. Ask any questions over in those areas. I'm not engaging in YouTube because you can't post pictures in there. So questions are better asked over there. That way you can post a picture of what you've done and I can answer properly. And if you're watching this in the community, you already know, post your pictures and comments below so we can all share and see what you've done. Fire off any questions if you have them. And until I see you in the next lesson, stay inspired.